Alright, let's do another Isaac run. Before I get started, I had something weird happened. I don't know why, but for some reason when I started the game today, my save file was gone. Which, I'm guessing it probably is Steam Cloud related, but I don't know why. So I did another run, and while I managed to unlock both Lazarus and Pazazzel again, I didn't actually manage to unlock the Halo, because you do specifically need to unlock, like, you need to specifically kill Mom with the Bible to unlock that. And instead I did manage to get the Parasite, which you get by collecting basically 2 of any, like, 4 specific items, but I'll get to that when that happens again. I don't have a whole lot of time right now, so we're going to play as Pazazzel, because he's nice and fast. And let's get going. So Pazazzel, he can fly from the get-go, he doesn't have red hearts, and this is his attack, which is kind of similar to an attack called Brimstone, just without the range, really. And the first item we're going to get is a box of spiders, which you can use to spawn a spider, and it hurts people. This attack's really, really good, and this character is just ridiculously powerful. Pretty much compared to any of the other characters, aside from arguably one of them, and not until after a while, but we'll get to that in like 30 videos from now. But yeah, Pazazzel, he is super good, and I think I've had a total of 1 run where I actually died as him. Just in total of all the time playing as just this game and this character. It's truly ridiculous, but it's fair enough because it makes the runs nice and fast, even though I just took some damage apparently. But that's fine. Damage doesn't really matter. We have 3 black hearts to start with, and we can actually pick up just health power-ups as well, and we'll just get red hearts again. It's just that you don't start with them. And that's not so bad. But there's another tinted rock over here, and we're just going to destroy everyone. You do have to be a little bit careful with Pazazzel due to the fact that arguably your health isn't that great. But again, you deal a lot of damage, so what are you going to do? We'll be fine. We're not going to worry about these things. And I'm actually not going to explore the entire floor with Pazazzel either, just because I don't really feel like it. And we can do it nice and fast. And we fight the Duke of Flies, who spawns flies and is also hilariously really weak to this particular attack that this character uses. So there you go. First boss dead, and we get ourselves some dinner, which is an HP up, so we have a little bit more health than we would ordinarily have. And moving on, we go to the next floor. It's kind of cool that like the loading screens for different characters are actually like slightly different as well. Like Pazazzel does look like Pazazzel, and as such, the loading screen will look a little bit different every single time you play as a different character, so that's pretty cool. Let's go in here. Let's do a little bit of the old gambly gook. Again, like some of the numbers may be a little bit different. Like you unlock certain things by gambling X amount of times, and obviously, I didn't count how many times I gambled when I recorded and how much I played in that second run, so things may unlock weirdly. So don't worry about it too much. Let's go in here, get the spider butt, which isn't really great, but I'll probably use it more than the other item, the box of spiders, so whatever. Basically what spider butt does is slows enemies down, and apparently it's a damage up as well in some way, shape, or form. I never really use this item, so honestly, I don't really know the specifics of it, but it's not great. It's not the best item in the world at all. So let's put some of our money in here. Arguably, it might be good to save our money because there's one character you unlock by getting like 65 coins or something like that. But every now and then, you're just going to get a run where you just get ridiculous amounts of money really, really quickly. And those runs are usually the ones where you want to try and really go for it. So what we're going to do is just try and beat everything as quickly as possible. You can break these pots as well. And the pots actually either contain spiders or money or another thing which hasn't been unlocked yet. And that's actually quite useful sometimes. That's another good way of actually getting some money, especially when enemies like those actually drop bombs to just blow them up. And again, with like the notch pickaxe, we could have done that as well, but we don't have that right now. Monstro! Let's use a spider butt. We just deal a little bit of damage, that's fair enough. When an enemy is slowed down, it also slows down his tears, and it also slows down his movement when he's like off screen, like Monstro is. So you have to like worry about that a bit, because usually when Monstro jumps up, he basically jumps to where you were when he jumped up. So when it's slowed down, he just moves forward really slowly. It's kind of silly. But it's worth remembering because sometimes things can go wrong. Also, red chest could teleport you to a devil deal even if you're already in one. So that's good. This one wasn't particularly good, but that's fine on account that Like we're Pazazzel and we don't need any items. I'm really not concerned with this character because the odds of you actually dying are just really low with this character as long as you're playing it slightly carefully. Decided to actually recharge the spider butt because it could be useful in this room. Like the big rooms can be a bit tedious with any character really. And even though the spider butt hurts everyone on like the screen, these guys are always invulnerable while their thing is lowered. Aside from like a couple of attacks, but not the spider butt apparently, because the spider butt is great. So this one might explode actually, which could be kind of bad because like my range is terrible with this character. And as such, I don't really want to worry about things too much. Also, when you have flying... Alright, so this is an angel room. This is basically what you get when you don't lose health in a devil deal room, which is kind of cool. This becomes more important later, but right now we can't really do anything with it. We got a bunch of health. But yeah, when you're flying, you can go through this door like to the inside without taking damage. You do take 1/2 heart of damage when you're going back outside again though, so that's worth remembering. But at least we now got to see an angel room, which really only happened, like I said, you will pretty much only get angel rooms if you didn't like spend hearts in a devil deal, and this time we couldn't even do that. And even then, there's just a chance you'll still just get devil deals. Like there are items which increase the chance of getting an angel room, but it's never 100% for as far as I can gather. But there you go. We're just gonna destroy all of this in case there's some cool stuff inside. There's a bill in here, which is kind of crap. Also, the Fool card, like we started off with the Tarot card, the Fool will basically teleport us back to where we originally spawned when we entered this floor, so that's why I'm not really using it. It has its uses, like I could have used it to get out of that curse room without taking damage, but I didn't really feel like it. It's just boom, slow him down, because that's why we kept this item after all. Arguably, the box of spiders is probably a better item actually, because like the slowdown of this item is just, it doesn't last very long, and it's honestly not that good. But I don't know, I like getting different items every now and then, even if it's not worthwhile. Hanging Man gives you flying. We already have flying, but now we don't have like a body for this particular room, which is kind of fun. I guess we're at 5 minutes, so I might as well just run around and try to find my item room, just in case it contains something cool. Just in case it contains something that's a little bit better than what I currently have. I'm trying to basically beat Mom again this run under 50 or under 20 minutes, which with this character it's really easy. So, and there is actually a certain reward that you get for doing that, so that's kind of neat. I'm not getting that. That's an item we'll save for another day. It's called soy milk, and it does things, and I'll get to that when we have a character that's not Pazazzel, because as this character, it's just, as most characters, it's just a terrible item, but as this character specifically, it's even worse, so we're just not gonna get that right now. We'll see. That's a glimpse for future, I suppose. Plus, you don't always need to grab the item that you get in the item room after all. There's not always a good reason, not always a reason to justify getting it. Here's Gluttony. He can drop a health item. This time he dropped a soul heart, so that's fair enough, I suppose. He can also drop the heart, which is actually quite a nice item because it fully like heals up your red hearts if you took red heart damage. And it also gives you just +1 health, like heart container, so that is actually quite a good item. But this time, he just elected to drop some hearts instead, which is fair enough. We got a golden key, which makes every key we spend in this floor just not cost anything, so we can just go through this into this shop without worrying too much. And we got the compass, which, if we hadn't already explored the entire floor, this would be a little bit better, I suppose. But if we didn't, then we could see where all the specific rooms are. Like, we could see where the item room roughly is, we could see where the boss room is, and stuff like that. It's just that without the map, it can lead to some wrong directions, but oftentimes I don't really worry about it too much. So let's see what we got. Using the compass, we can see that to the right, there's a nasty guy over here, like the Lust. And she's gone. She can drop the virus. If I not touch someone, they'll be poisoned for a while, and that's kind of fun, but I'm not gonna do that. And we're gonna go up because my item room is up there. And I'm gonna try not to take damage here, but these rooms can be a little bit scary. But we got through it just fine. Using like the spider butt there would have actually been a decent choice on account that, like, when they get slowed down, their tears will just not fly very far again, just like with these guys. So it would have actually been a pretty good time to use it, but I often forget the spider butt exists, and I never use it as an item, so there you go. I'm just a bad player is basically what I'm getting at. These guys are jerks because they can shoot really fast, and then they don't shoot for a while. I think they shoot like 3 times or something. Just 5 tiers all around them, and it's pretty easy to get hit by those guys, but we got through it just fine. And again, skeletons are never fun, but we survived again. This is... Man, Cupid's arrow. This would be good if we had tiers, but as we're Pazazzel, we don't. So, now we just get a cool feather on our head, and that's really about it. But, you know, feathers are cool, and there you go. These are sort of the pink spiders. They try to swarm around as much as possible, but they also die in a fairly small amount of time. And we're just gonna keep going, just keep moseying on, just run quickly from zone to zone, and try not to die. I would have actually liked a little bit more health at this point, to be honest, but hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. Once once a tier is already in the air, you can't slow it down anymore, but it does decrease the length of future ones, so there's that. I probably could have done this with better mushrooms. Oh, this would be good if we didn't have a compass. More about that item later, I suppose. Pills can teleport you places as well. This time it only teleported us to one room, but it can be bad sometimes. But it can also be used for good. Like, you can get out of curse rooms that way as well, so that's worth using them for as well. Now, because we're Pazazzel and we can fly, like, tiers will never basically fly over rocks. So we can actually quite safely stand above some rocks, and his tiers shouldn't hit us, I don't think, so that's neat. And because he is not very strong to my attacks, he dies, and we win. And we get a range up. Does this actually affect Pazazzel? Maybe. I'm not actually 100% sure if his attack is, like, dependent on range up and range down items. Alright, we got Curse of the Labyrinth. Because we're playing on hard mode, there's a larger chance of getting cursed. This particular one means that basically, normally you'd have 2 floors, but now it's just one really, really big one. And I just use the sun card to see where stuff is, how far away it is. And apparently we were right next to our secret room, so you might as well get that. And I'm actually going to blow up all the mushrooms here, just because they're all so close to each other. And there's a chance that we can get a magic mushroom out of it. And I was a little bit too close to stuff there, but fair enough. Mushrooms often drop pills, which is nice. And we just got amnesia. Wow. But we got a health up, I suppose. But amnesia means that we don't have a map anymore. And that is just the butts everywhere. But what are you gonna do? I think I sort of remember where stuff is, so I'm just gonna have to hope that I remember things correctly. But it is basically the one pill I just hate getting the most, because it's just one I have a hard time dealing with a lot of the time. I often forget where I go. I like to use my map for things, especially when I just got an item that explored the entire map for me. But what are you gonna do? It's too late for that now, I suppose. Also, if I were to use my sun card now, it still wouldn't show me a map. It would just show me a big question mark, so there you go. The Ace of Spades actually doubles our keys. I'm actually going to use that now, on account that might be useful to me. Here's a boss. This time he's just 3 of them inside a room. Pin usually dies fairly quickly to this attack, but I'm being a little bit bad at actually hitting him right now. You just have to be a little bit careful not getting hit by his tears. He kind of is like that boss from Zelda Link to the Past, where it's basically the same thing. Only this one can actually shoot bombs at you as well, like the little explodey tears that he shoots every now and then. Our damage is actually bad. Like, I would have actually hoped to do a little bit more damage than I'm currently doing, so I'm a little bit worried about that, but hopefully it's not too bad. Just gonna wait for that to explode, fly over this, ignore those giant keyhole things, and just go in here. This is not a bad item, but we can't really use it with the items we have right now, and we can't buy it either. So I'm actually just gonna put all my coins in here. And we got ourselves a blue map, or at least we unlocked it, because we put 10 coins in the donation machine. So from this point on, we can get the blue map from the shop if he decides to sell it. This thing actually pulls me towards it, which is kind of rude, but we killed it, so now it no longer does that. But yeah, the blue map, I didn't actually know the blue map wasn't unlockable, but there you go. But it's actually quite okay. It shows you where your secret room is, but it also shows you where the super secret rooms are. Which, is it over here? That would be nice. It is, actually. And this is a super secret room. It's, like I said, not next to any other room. It can contain one of these chests. It can contain 5 pill. It can contain all sorts of stuff. Sometimes There are very specific item combinations that make them extremely useful, but it just sort of depends on what the super secret room is, and maybe we'll see that in a future run. Like, there's some really silly things you can do regarding a bottle that you can buy from the shop as well, but it's such a really specific turn of events. I've never actually had it happen myself, and who knows if we'll see it, but maybe we will one day. Mr. Boom! Probably better than the spider butt, honestly. It's basically a bomb that you use as like a use item. You can just place it down. It actually has quite a big explosion, and it's pretty strong, so it's not a bad item at all. I'm just gonna use this thing again just because I can, because we're already amnesia'd anyway. I don't actually remember where the second item room is, so I'm a little bit worried this might take a while. Our time is quite good. We're at 12 minutes, and once we beat this floor under 20 minutes, we should be fine. That's pretty much what I'm going for here. And hopefully nothing will go too wrong after that. Though I'm taking a lot of damage, so I might need to keep the cool stuff for later, on account that I'm being a little bit dangerous. So those skull things can actually come out of a broken skull as well, so that's one thing to consider. It might not always be worth it to destroy them, but sometimes it is. Like, getting cool items out of them is just worthwhile to me. Like, we got the tarot card with a Wheel of Fortune, which would spawn a vending machine of some... Or not a vending machine, a gambling machine, which I don't really want to do. Oh, God. Wow, this is... So this is kind of terrible. And it doesn't really show off very well with this character either, so I'm just going to leave it for later. I'm sure we'll get one of those again in the future. Like, it's an item that... when you have it with tears, you can basically charge up your attack for a while, and then you shoot like 5 tears in a row. But the downside of that item is that when you get hit while charging, you get teleported out of the room, and that's actually really irritating. Because if you teleport out of the room before all the enemies are dead, the enemies will just respawn again, and that's not great. Not great at all. Let's go in here. It's Monstro 2. He's like Monstro 1, but like he can shoot lasers and also do some horrible jump attacks. Let's hope he doesn't do it too much. I might actually use bad gas on him on account that it poisons him a little bit, and it does at least do a little bit of damage to him. But he can also jump up like he does now, and then he'll jump up again, and it'll spawn a whole bunch of flies. These flies can actually get attacked by his laser attack as well, so that's good. Takes care of most of them usually. And let's just take care of everything, huh? But you do have to be a little bit careful that you don't get hit by his attack when he when he attacks a fly. It's pretty easy to do that. The big pill is, I think it speeds you up a bit. I didn't actually look at what it did because I forget a lot of the time. And it gave me a tears down pill, so that's just what I needed. There we go. Be gone with you. And here's Mom. And I'm gonna place the bomb here and hope it works. It didn't. That's fine. Because Pazazzel is Pazazzel, and Pazazzel does a lot of damage. Everything's good when you play as Pazazzel. And we are just going to actually properly fight Mom this time. Unlike just using the Bible, which insta-kills her. Would have actually liked to have the Bible just on account of being able to unlock the Halo again. Because the Halo is not bad either. So having that unlocked would actually be pretty okay. But now you kind of get to see what she does. She spawns a whole bunch of enemies all over the place. And every now and then her foot stomps down, which is basically why I'm moving constantly. Because even though she makes like a sound before she attacks, I have a hard time seeing it a lot of the time. And my health is not good right now. Because the thing is, oh, that's actually not bad. I probably should have waited with picking that up, but oh well. Let's go into the devil deal. It has 3 chests again. Like red chests can be really good, but it's this run, man, this run. It's not really giving me the best of items. So we can actually enter the room right now, which we couldn't do like in the previous one. We can also enter here because we beat Mom under 20 minutes. And if I pick up one of these items, there's just gonna be like a whole bunch of stuff happening. And because my health is really low, it's just really not great right now. My build's not great either. I'm gonna leave that for later. We're gonna be playing as Pazazzel at some point in the future again anyway, so we might as well move onwards to the Womb 1. Now from this point on, whenever I take damage from anything, it'll deal 1 heart of damage. So if I go into a curse room, then going out of it will deal 1 heart of damage. That's actually quite okay. That is not bad at all. I was kind of hoping for that because now I might be able to enter the curse room without taking damage. And it contained a bunch of spiders. Of course it did. Of course it contained a bunch of spiders. But yeah, now I can just leave the cursor room without taking any damage, and that is actually quite nice. Because now I'm going to try and keep my health a bit high. I took damage from like the one enemy, which is pretty much the weakest enemy in the game, so that's pretty good already. Good start. Good way of starting this particular shenanigan. Let's see if we can get through this though. Flying does help out a lot in this game though. Like being able to fly over rocks and over pits and stuff. A lot of enemies can't do that, so being able to do that is really useful. That is actually a boss, believe it or not, which appears sometimes in... Does it appear in the basement? I think some bosses can only appear on some floors, and I think this one might only appear in the basement, actually. But we are Pazazzel, and we can just stay over here when he does the dashy attack. And every now and then he shoots tears or spawns poop. It doesn't really matter because we have destroyed him very quickly. So I'm just going to keep destroying these poops, and I hope that... Oh, at least we unlocked a new item by doing so. I'm kind of hoping to get like a heart or something out of it. There's also a trinket which you can get. Trinkets were like the matchstick and the wobbly worm which we got in the previous run. Haven't actually seen a single trinket this run so far, but there is a trinket which gives you basically a higher chance of getting good items out of poop. So I was kind of hoping for that, but there you go. I should mention that there probably are Tinder rocks here. I can never tell which one is a Tinder rock and which one isn't, so I don't like to risk it in here because like hitting certain rocks in this place will just make a whole bunch of tears come out of them, and of course that happened. This is one of the sort of negative effects of a pill, but it doesn't really matter too much, and that's a room with that much in it. But yeah, like I don't really like to risk using bombs on these particular things because I'm scared of taking damage, and I'm a big babby. Now, it would be nice if we didn't take red heart damage, because then at least we'd have some sort of a chance of getting another devil deal, though the odds are not quite in our favor because we've gotten quite a couple already. These guys are kind of jerks, especially when they're that color, because they explode and they're really fast, and I don't like getting hit by them very much. But we fight the Fallen. Fallen's kind of cool because this guy can drop a devil deal item instead of the usual boss pool items when he dies. When he's at half health, he splits into two, and then there's two of them. That's pretty much it. He's smaller now, but he's still quite a jerk. I'm gonna take care of him one at a time. When you deal, like when he's flying around like this and you deal a certain amount of damage, he does this brimstone attack all over the place, and that's not great. Oh god, and there we go. There went our red heart, which I was trying to avoid taking damage with, but oh. I'm gonna grab that in a second. I'm first actually gonna go back and grab the heart over here. And I don't know where this run is going, but we're gonna see. This is the pact. It increases my damage. Does it actually increase damage? Wow. And it increases tears up. I didn't actually know it increased damage in this game. I don't think it increased damage in the original, but there you go. And it gives us 2 soul hearts, which is really the main thing I'm getting out of this one. And this is quite a big floor. Can we get something cool out of here? There's technically a chance. Is there a chance you can get soul hearts out of this? I'm not actually sure. But either way, there's a chance that I can get something cool out of this one. Also, we got Curse of the Unknown. Yeah. Which means I can't see my health. So now I just need to sort of do that from the top of my head, which is just great. That's all I've ever wanted. I'm just gonna blow up everyone. There's another heart in case I need it. I'm not gonna use that machine during this run because it seems like a horrible idea. At least there's 3 hearts here now. That's kind of nice, I guess. But all in all, we didn't get much. I think this increases the chance. Actually, this might just be a luck up in this game. But it might increase the chance of keys dropping. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna blow these things up just in case. See what happens. See if anything spooky happens. Nope. Was kind of hoping for a tinted rock. Again, I just pretty much can't see them on these floors. So I'm just guessing a lot of the time. And sometimes it gets you something good, but most of the time it's just junk. And we're just gonna destroy everything that comes in our way. And mosey to the end. Oh god, this... You can actually break through doors as well using bombs. And I'm gonna do that because this room is horrible. I don't want to deal with all these tears flying all over the place. So that's the thing you can do. It doesn't charge up your item though, like your space use item, the one on the top left. So you have to keep that into consideration. But all in all, it's sometimes not a bad idea to do that. Especially when it's like a floor where it's just reasonably possible where you can take damage. I don't really want to risk it with those. And I might actually enter this one. I'm not sure which one we're gonna get in here, but maybe it could be useful. He has a chance of... He's basically Bomberman, but he has a chance of dropping an item which makes my bombs more powerful, so I would like that. Instead, he drops 2 bombs, and that's less good, but... Fair enough, I guess. What are you gonna do? I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna leave this room alone, I think. And just traverse towards the boss and hope I don't take any damage. These eyes are really annoying, but they're generally too slow if you just circle around them. And because we're Pazazzel, we can very easily do that. But they shoot lasers, and they're kind of like insta-hit if they hit you. So there it is. I have a lot of keys and really nothing to use them on, because from this point on, like, we're not going to get item rooms anymore. And I just took damage from something I really didn't want to take damage from, but oh well. Too late now. I've pretty much lost my train of thought because of that, but yeah. Try not to be dead, try not to get hit by that, which is apparently a thing. Didn't actually know that I could take damage from his dash attacks while I was above rocks, but there you go. That was my last soul heart, so now I have just, I basically have 3 red hearts right now, if I am correct. At least I've not gotten to the point where I've taken red heart damages yet, which is kind of nice. At least I'm technically still at a full whopping 3 hearts, so we're doing pretty good in that regard. But I'm a little bit worried, because the boss that we're going to be fighting on this particular floor is not nice. It's not a nice boss at all. It's not a friend. I like how I pretty much started this run off by really hyping up Pazazzel, and instead I'm pretty much just getting destroyed in this run. But hey, what are you gonna do? Sometimes the badness happens. We're not gonna sacrifice our health for a chest. That seems like a bad idea. Instead, we're just gonna take, and again, red heart damage from one of these guys, which is unusual. This is not really the type of place where you take damage, especially as Pazazzel, where you can very safely just fly around over here. But there you go. 2 hearts, don't take damage, otherwise I die. But we'll just be fine. Eventually these guys get loose, and that's kind of bad. They also have blood behind them, which is kind of hard to see a lot of the time because everything here is red, and that's not great, but oh well. So let's see if we can get some hearts out of these guys. Usually they'll drop some sort of healing item, but I'm not sure if that actually counts when they're not technically introduced as a boss. Apparently it sort of is, as long as it's the last one, I suppose. Anything that sort of resembles a tinted rock in here, I could use one. That would be nice. I guess not. Not today. Not today, our little friends. Gotta be careful with this particular room. Like, every room in this game is, like, every floor is just generated by using a whole bunch of predetermined rooms. And so you can sort of tell what's going to happen in each room in terms of certain enemies. So once you see a room with like 2 of those guys on the wall, you want to be careful. Also, that guy's very invisible and very teleporty today, and that's not great, but we got through it. So I'm pretty sure that full health, I'm just going to verify, and indeed I am. So from this point on, we just have to fight the boss. That'll be great. So we're fighting Mom's heart right now. I'm going to place the bomb down immediately, get rid of these 2 eyeballs, and then get rid of the consequent eyeballs that spawn while dodging deers all over the place. And from this point on, she has a bunch of different attacks. Eventually, she'll spawn more stuff, but this is pretty much my point to deal damage. And, like, right now, she spawns a whole bunch of these little guys. Her tears actually do get blocked by the enemies she spawns, which is kind of nice, but it is still quite a large amount of tears that I have to deal with. So I am playing this a little bit carefully. And sometimes you have to sort of circle around her like this. Eventually, she starts using this brimstone attack, like that one. And you have to circle around her even more, but she died and everything's good. So there's a chance you actually get a devil deal over here, and that one's actually a little bit different, but we're not going to see that this run. Instead, we're just going to have ending number 2, or ending number 1 technically, if you want to believe the stat screen. And we're just Isaac in every ending basically, which is just a thing that happens. And the thing we unlock is that particular thing right there. The credits are the same every time. You're just gonna skip them because they're not that exciting. And we unlocked the wrapped baby because we beat the mom's heart on hard mode. And we got Eden. And Eden is great because Eden's stats are random. Eden's starting items are random. And the only way to play as Eden is by beating mom's heart. And then you get a token to be able to play as Eden again. So you can technically get one Eden token and then play as Eden and just keep beating Mom's Heart, and then you'll only need one, really. But Eden can be pretty unpredictable. It's probably actually one of the more fun characters in this game, just because every run will just be... It'll usually just be completely different from the start. Because you can just get, like stats that are just all terrible. Or you can get stats that are really, really good. It's just really interesting to play as Eden. And we'll probably do so in the future run. But that was this run. That was kind of bad. But we got through at least Mom's Heart in the end, as shown in the little thing in the top left. The fact that it's circled red means you did it on hard mode. And you don't really get many unlocks on hard mode. You pretty much, with most characters, you only really need to, like, beat Mom's Heart on hard mode. And that's pretty much the only unlock you get exclusively on hard mode. There is one exception to that, but we'll get to that character when I'm feeling horribly depressed. So that was it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it for now. And the next time we play, we are gonna maybe do a little bit better. Maybe get a run that actually has good items, but we'll see, I suppose. It's never predictable with Isaac, unfortunately. But we'll see that next time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.